Hi, my name's Graham O'Reilly. I'm a director at Nsoa Learning and I'm responsible for running the DVD program. This is a program that started in 2010 and to date has had almost 3,000 students make use of in supporting them through their CTA studies with UNISA. The purpose of this short clip is just to take you through a couple of aspects pertaining to the DVD program to help you make your decisions about whether to join us or not. What I'm going to do is take you through, firstly, some feedback from past students to give you a couple of some feedback aspects around what students have found about the program and how beneficial they've found it. I'll then take you through an overview of the objectives of the program, what we're seeking to achieve, some of the benefits of moving onto a DVD-based platform as opposed to a more traditional lecture-based platform. I'd like to take you through some of the benefits, and then the lecture team. I'll introduce you to the 4 lecturers that cover the 4 different subject disciplines, and then finally take you through the issues around costs of the program and the registration process. If I start with a selection of comments from some of our past students, all of these, by the way, are on our website, on our testimonial section. Alida mentions in the second paragraph the impact that the program had on her studies, and particularly on the way that she approached her studies leading up to each test, and how that made a difference to her preparation. Helga has now gone through 2 years with the NSOA DVD program and would recommend NSOA to any CTA student. Vian also wanted to thank the NSOA team. Truly could not have done it without the support of the DVDs, contributed a lot to his success. And then lastly, Marie-Louise also wanted to give thanks about the program, and again is going to be contacting us for level 2 support. There are, as I said, a whole lot of other comments on the website from other students of ours that have come through the programs over the past 4 years since we've been running the program. Okay, so what is the purpose behind this program? What are we trying to address or put in place, achieve by running a program like this? Essentially, this program targets UNISA distance learning students in particular, and there are quite a few unique challenges that are faced by UNISA CTA students that any successful program needs to talk to, needs to address. First off, you're on your own, so you're very much studying in isolation. Sure, you may have colleagues or peers that are also studying, and sure, you have access to your UNISA lecturers through the My UNISA site, but essentially it's up to you to do the work. There's no one watching over you, checking up on you, in contact with you on a regular basis to see how you're going. You also don't have someone at hand to explain things to you. UNISA very much work on tutorial letters on a weekly basis, supported by the prescribed textbooks, and that's it. They give you an indication as to what you need to do. If you get stuck, what then? Do you have access to people that can explain things to you in a way that makes sense? There are often not quick mechanisms to help resolve problems with distance learning students as well, in the sense that if you are working through a particular tutorial letter and you get stuck with something, you ideally want to resolve what you're stuck on pretty quickly, certainly before the end of the study week, and certainly in advance of the UNISA test. Do you have mechanisms to be able to help you do that? Your study time is obviously one of your key limiting factors. If you're not going to spend the 20 to 25 hours minimum that UNISA suggests you should be spending on your studies at either CTA 1 or CTA 2 level, you're going to really struggle to get through the course material and to be adequately prepared for the tests and the final exam. So you've got to make sure that you use that time in the best way possible. We can make some suggestions, and in terms of the way we've designed the program is to try and help you maximize your very limited weekly time that you have available to you. It's often also hard to stay motivated, largely as a function of these previous points. But if you start to drop off the cliff a bit, you start to lose hope, you do badly in a test, there are no breaks in this program. Literally, you're running through a 9-month study program from the beginning of January right the way through to the exams, with no midterm breaks, no holidays, no gaps. If you fall behind, if you haven't managed to finish what you needed to do, if you've done badly in a test, then what? Okay, so what is this program all about? How is it structured? What is the format of the program? I like to always mention that this is more than just a set of DVDs. Obviously, it is a DVD-based support program, and the DVDs are one of the key elements. but they're not the only element. And I think the other components of the program are really worth mentioning. So we obviously have the actual DVD instruction component. This covers all 5 subjects. I mentioned 5 in terms of including the 2 financial accounting components. And all DVDs include reference to questions where it's believed to be appropriate by the lecture team. So we won't only discuss and explain the theory behind principles, we'll also take time to go along and actually work through questions with you and show you how to approach the answering of questions in those topics. There is a comprehensive study technique and exam preparation DVD that is bundled with the program. This is probably about 4 to 5 hours worth of content, probably 2 of those hours being really important up front, that you take time to go through and see some of the guidance there. In this technique DVD, I'll take you through how you should be approaching your studies, how to structure your study weeks in a way that you can actually get through all the work you need to, but at the same time take a break every now and again. I'll work through how to do questions in the most efficient way with you, how to learn from your study program as you run through the 9-month program, and a whole lot of other stuff that's quite useful in terms of you approaching your studies in 2014. We then, as a lecture team, send you a weekly email giving you guidance on the upcoming tutorial letter. So this guidance will include a reference to what to focus on in the DVDs. Perhaps there's some content in the TUT letter that isn't in the DVDs, or maybe we've gone into too much depth in the DVD relative to the tutorial letter. Maybe UNISA have thrown things into the tutorial letter that we weren't expecting, or taken things out that we weren't aware of. This weekly guidance is an opportunity to communicate with you and give you a heads up in terms of how you should be approaching that upcoming study week, in terms of how best to use the DVDs to assist you in that. The Nsoa Student Zone is the 4th component to the program, and it's a really important one. One of your problems studying on your own is the inability to get answers to questions that you encounter. With our Student Zone, this is an online discussion forum, but with a bit of a difference. A normal discussion forum typically will rely on students to assist other students. In our Student Zone, we basically contract the lecture team to go online and resolve student queries. So if you're struggling with a particular question, a particular topic, in the TUT letter, in the book, in the DVD, you literally just pop onto the Student Zone, post a topic there. Lecturers are automatically notified by email whenever there's a topic that's posted, and they will, within a day or 2 max, they will come along and give you a detailed response to your query. The last component that is an optional extra for students if you want to subscribe to this is the inclusion of a series of 20 weekly practice tests, essentially 1 practice test at the end of each study week. So you would, for example, be doing a management accounting tutorial letter in a particular study week. At the end of that week, you would then be writing a control test on that week's work. It would be an unseen question, a 1-hour-long question. You'd be given 15 minutes to do reading time, and then you would answer for an hour. You would then basically scan and mail your attempt through to us. We then have a team of markers who would then go and mark and obviously give you feedback on where you've gone wrong and what you need to do to try and improve. So those are the 5 major components of this DVD program that we're offering. Some of the benefits of being DVD-based as opposed to lecture-based or any other program that is out there. Our program, we pride ourselves on it being directly aimed at the UNISA syllabus. This is not a generic general program that caters to any honors level student. We specifically follow the UNISA course content and teach things in the way that UNISA examine things, work through UNISA questions with you, and talk to UNISA content the whole way through. With DVDs, you have a lot more flexibility than your standard or more traditional lecture-based programs. With DVDs, you watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it. With lectures, some of the downsides to lectures often are maybe you don't need to attend the entire 4 or 5 hour lecture because you don't need explanation on the whole lot. There might be just one component that you need an answer to. With DVDs, you can go straight to that component and just watch that element. You may also miss lectures for illness or any other reason. You can't exactly miss DVDs. So there's a lot more flexibility in terms of being selective about what you want to watch and in your own time frames. You obviously can watch them as often as you like as well. So you can't really attend a lecture as often as you like because it often only runs once. DVDs, up to you. You can also, through the Student Zone, ask as many questions as you need to. Sometimes an observation about DVD-based support, a criticism, is that you can't exactly put up your hand and ask a question to a lecturer, like you could in a lecture-based intervention. How many people actually put up their hands and ask questions, though, during a lecture? Often you're either too shy to ask the question, or often the question arises after the lecture when you're actually working through questions or you're trying to assimilate what it is that the lecturer has taken you through. So I don't see that as a huge disadvantage to DVD-based support. With our Student Zone, you have the ability to go online at any point of time, so whenever you're watching the DVD, and ask the questions. You basically have a direct link to our lecture team. They have access to the same content you have. They'll come along and give you a detailed response. A last benefit, and I think it does merit mention, is the cost. Our program, our target here is to try and make this program available to as many students as we can, and the way that we try and pull that off is to make the cost affordable. We would ideally like an affordable solution that is able to cater to any CTA student anywhere in the country, or even outside the country. We have had students in the past from Namibia, Zimbabwe, that have joined in and bought into the program, no problem at all. So because of the large volumes, we're able to keep the costs pretty low relative to, again, more traditional lecture-based support programs. Our team of lecturers who are going to be responsible for guiding you through the program is the same group that we've had since 2010, and I think you'll find they're pretty much experts in their field. Carl Erasmus, handling the financial accounting. Carl has been with us now for 7 years in various different guises of our support programs with UNISA students. Di Seckham on the tax side, been with us for 8 years. Owen Skay is the newest of our lecturers. This is now his 4th year of participating in this program. And from myself, I handle the auditing side. This is almost embarrassed to admit, this has probably been my 14th or 15th year of lecturing honours level auditing. So the team is vastly experienced. They understand UNISA, they understand the UNISA distance learning student, and these are the guys that you'll be making use of on the Student Zone, and obviously the guys that you'll be listening to in the DVD sequence itself. Okay, so let's get down to some of the details. Pricing and registration. Our pricing structures, I think you will find, are very competitive. They are all fully disclosed in our brochures, which you can download from our website. There are a couple of different options in terms of individual subjects, for example, as opposed to all 4 or 5 subjects. There are also options there around the weekly practice tests that I've already spoken about and what the pricing structure is to those. Important to note, our pricing structures do include VAT and do include postage. So what you see is what you get. There's no extra cost involved. And we do also have a deferred payment option should you choose to spend over a certain amount with us. If you are interested in registering to join the DVD program, our registration process is a completely online process, which you'll also be able to access through the website, in fact through this very page that you're using to view this promo DVD. If you have any questions, Sally is the contact person to get hold of, and her contact details are on the website. Or alternatively, if you can't get hold of Sally for any reason, you're more than welcome to pop me a mail or give me a call, and I'll be absolutely pleased to answer any questions you might have about the program. Either way, here's wishing you the best of success for your CTA studies in the upcoming year, and I really do hope that you join our team and we can be part of that success story for you. Thank you for listening.